Welcome to our tutorial on back strengthening. Today we're going to look at Bhujangasana, Shalabhasana, Sphinx pose, Dhanurasana, which is floor bow, and some variations of those. So let's come to lying down on our tummies. So this is also called prone position because we're belly down to the floor. So we're going to start with a little bit of Sphinx pose because it's a nice supported pose. So we're pressing the front of our feet and our shins down into the mat. I'm going to take an inhale breath, bring the elbows underneath the shoulders, starfish my hands, press my hands into the mat, and as I inhale, I'm going to lift my chest and draw my shoulders down. So I can engage the legs here and pull forward, but it's actually quite nice to just allow the feet to relax here and just work lengthening through the front body and the back body. And I know that sounds like, because we are back bending, so it sounds like we might want to be crunching into that back, but that's exactly what we don't want to do. We want to feel the length through the back body. So it's almost like we're leaving the hips on the earth and we're telescoping the ribs away from the hips. So you can just take a few inhale and exhale breaths here. And this is quite a nice posture. You can stay here for a little period of time. When you want to come out of the pose, a little bit of a press there. Release the upper body down to the mat. You can take the hands by the side body and turn the right ear down to the mat. Turn the toes together and let the heels fall out to the side. So this is quite a restorative posture in between our back strengthening poses. So another variation of our Sphinx pose is to actually take the feet a little bit wider, and so just out to the sides of the mat. Again, bringing the elbows underneath the shoulders, pressing the elbows into the earth, telescoping the ribs away from the hips, and feeling that lengthening through the front body and through the back body. It's just a slightly different sensation that you'll get here because the hips are, you've got the feet a little bit wider, and so that separation, the drawing apart of the pelvic girdle there, just gives you a little bit more length and a little bit more depth in the pose. You can tuck the chin down to the chest here, feeling that lovely stretch through the cervical spine, which is a nice elongation of the back. And you can inhale and head back to center. So that is our Sphinx pose. We're going to exhale, release back down to the earth. Give the back a little bit of a break. You can take the hands by the side body. You can leave the feet where they are. You can turn the toes in, drop the heels out to the side, and take the other ear down to the mat. It's nice just to take a few breaths for recovery in between each of these postures. So I'm going to bring my feet back together, bring my hands underneath my shoulders. So we're going to work into Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. So my hands, palms are still like starfish. This is a constant throughout our yoga practice so that we can take the pressure off the wrists. And eventually your fingers work like little brakes, little individual brake pads, kind of like frog gripping on a wall. And that's how we work into our handstand eventually. So it all starts with these beginner or entry level, or not really entry level, these postures that are more basic or more common throughout our yoga practice. All these little foundations that are our building blocks for our more complex or more advanced postures. So we're going to press the feet into the earth here. So I've engaged the legs, squeezing the toes and the heels together. My hands are underneath the shoulders, elbows are drawing down towards the waist. We're going to take an inhale breath, and as we inhale, we're going to peel the upper body off the floor. So I'm really engaging my legs here, squeezing my butt cheeks, my legs are squeezing together. I should be able to lift my hands up off the floor. Shoulder blades are drawing down and back, and my gaze is forward. I'm going to take an inhale breath here. Really working into the back body here. Exhale and release down. Again, taking hands by the side of the mat, you can turn the ear down to the earth and look in one direction. It's nice to alternate. Take a little bit of a rest here. And then when you're ready, you can come back. So you can hold these poses for 3 to 5 breaths, a little bit longer if you'd like, and then take the equivalent in rest time. You can also add these into your flow. So you might like to take a little back bending or back strengthening break and just do this series of postures after you've done a warm up of 5 sun salutations A and then 5B. It's a nice little way to be reminded of the strength that we need in our spine. So Bhujangasana is cobra pose. Again, I'm going to bring my hands underneath my shoulders, squeeze my legs together, start to lengthen through my back body, so lengthening through the spine. My toes are drawing away, the crown of my head is reaching in the opposite direction. I'm going to take an inhale breath. As I lift up, I'm squeezing the elbows into the side body and lifting through the front body. My gaze is forward, my legs are still lengthening away and the crown of my head is lifting up, shoulders drawing down and back, keep the breath going. You can lift a little bit higher this time. Exhale. And release. Take the arms away. Let them fall by the side of the body, and you can take the head down, left ear to the mat this time. A little bit of a relax. Take a few breaths here. Feel the whole body sink into the mat. Inhale back to center. Hands come underneath the shoulders again. We're going to press the front of our feet into the mat, glue our legs together, zip them up so they're like one long tail. Empty the belly, so there's nothing in there. And then you're going to take a deep inhale and peel the body up as you inhale, lifting into Bhujangasana. So when you get to your maximum height here, squeezing those legs together, looking forward, you can take another inhale breath and gently lift the gaze in your drishti to the sky. Exhale and release. Hands by the side, turning the ear down to the mat. So our next posture that we're going to work on is Shalabhasana, and there's a couple of variations of this as well. Before I do that, I'm just going to turn to the front because there's actually one more variation of Cobra Pose that I wanted to show you, and it's actually a wide Cobra Pose. So just for some additional strengthening work. So we're going to take the hands out to about shoulder width. We're still doing all the same things with our back body, zipping the legs together, pressing the feet into the earth. The hands are like you're going to do a wide push-up. And you can either go on the full hand, or you can come up onto the fingertips depending where your strength is. Empty the belly. And as you inhale, peel the body up off the floor. Lifting up. You might find you might get a little bit more height here. Opening up, still drawing those shoulders down and back, head straight forward. Pressing the hips down into the earth and lengthening, eventually gazing up towards the sky. Inhale and exhale, release. So that is our wide press Bhujangasana there. So the next one is Shalabhasana. So there's a couple of variations here. The one that we're going to start with actually requires us to take our little handy andies. We're going to roll sideways and hands, palms flat down to the earth. We're going to bring our arms underneath our body. So our hands are reaching for the knees. And you'll feel the arms underneath the hips, and you want to bring the elbows together as close as you can. So underneath the body, your hands actually look like this underneath. So you're trying to squeeze those elbows together, and you can spread the fingers out just as we do in all of our other postures so that you've got that lovely firm base from which to work. So I'm going to come back down so I can show you this pose from the side. I'm going to bring my hands, palms underneath me. So this might feel enough here. You're giving the arms a little bit of a massage and opening up through the elbows and the shoulders. You're going to take an exhale and release everything from the belly. Relaxing that left leg, I just want you to inhale and lift that right leg to the sky. So try and relax the left leg, press that right hip into the arm that's on the floor, and then you can lift that back right leg. And you're stretching that leg towards the back of the room. The chin stays down on the mat, don't lift the chin here. So you can use the hands, and when you use the hands, you can kind of feel that press forward into the earth that enables you to lengthen through the back body, lifting that leg just a little bit higher. As you exhale, release that leg down to the floor, take a little bit of a reprieve, and we're going to go straight into the left leg. Inhale and lift that left leg, pressing that hip down into the forearm, chin down to the mat, press into the hands and lengthen through that left leg, drawing the crown of the head forward and the toe to the opposite or in the opposite direction. Exhale and release. So now we come to both legs together. So give it a little wiggle underneath, get those elbows back together. This time we're going to kiss the mat. Give it a little kiss, empty the belly of breath, and as you inhale, press the hands into the earth and lift the legs. Exhale and release. Uncurl the arms, make any little body adjustments there, and relax the hands by the side body. So that is quite a fun exercise, I'm not going to lie, it's a tricky one, but it can also be very rewarding. Just taking a little break there, and you can actually take that exercise as many times as you like. Twice is usually enough. It's quite a tough one. So, the next variation of our Shalabhasana or locust pose, we're actually going to have the arms by the side body. And there's a number of different variations that you can take here with the arms. We're going to kiss the mat, empty the belly of breath, and as you inhale, lifting the legs and lifting the arms. So we want our belly down into the floor, but we're lifting the legs, lifting, and eventually the belly is going to come off the floor and our hips are going to be the only thing that's resting on the floor. Lengthen through the legs, lengthen through the crown of the head, stretching them in opposite directions. Exhale and release back down to the mat. So we really are strengthening into the back here. So in preference to crunching into the spine and using the hands and crushing the lumbar spine down, what we want to do is, as we're stretching, we're really thinking about the separation of the vertebrae in the back. We want to find the length in the back so that we're creating strength in the quadratus lumborum, and we might actually feel a little bit of a stretch too through into the psoas and into the hips as we're working here and lengthening through the legs. So our next variation of Shalabhasana, you can take the hands, palms together behind the back for a little bit of a squeeze here. Exhale the belly, belly breath, and as you inhale, lift and squeeze. So we're drawing the hands between the butt cheeks here like we're giving ourselves a little bit of a wedgie, lifting the upper body, drawing the crown of the head forward, lengthening through the back, lengthening the legs, exhale and release down to the mat. So I'm going to turn front on for this next variation, and we're going to take the arms flying out to the side like aeroplane wings. So take the arms out to the side, shoulder height, so perpendicular to the body. Exhale the breath. Feel that lovely belly into the floor, the pressure, that massage, the whole body, feeling that connection down to the earth, massaging all our internal organs. Feels quite good. So we're going to zip up the legs, squeeze the legs together, starting to create that energetic flow through the body. Exhale the breath. As you inhale, peel the body up off the floor, lift the legs and lift the arms. And you can stay here for 3 or 4 rounds of breath, really squeezing the legs together, lengthening and lifting. Exhale and release. So I'm just going to press up onto the knees here. You should really be feeling like this is a full body workout. I know that we say that it's back bending or back strengthening work, but really it's a full body workout. This will generate heat in the body as you work into the core and work all of those right down from the tippy toes right up to the fingertips. So our next posture is floor bow or Dhanurasana. And this is the reverse of Urdhva Dhanurasana, which is our wheel pose, where from our bridge pose we press up into that beautiful arch that creates the wheel. So this is a preparatory pose, Dhanurasana, for our wheel pose. So we're going to come down again, belly down, and this time we're going to reach around for our ankles. We're going to grab hold of the ankles from the outside, so a full palm pressing in. And we want to keep the knees as close together as we can. If we start to spread the knees out, we really want to maintain the hip structure here and the pelvic girdle so that we're opening up through the front body. If we start to open the knees to the side, we miss the stretch through the quadriceps and the press into the earth. So again, exhale the breath, release everything from the body. You can feel that little sensation of relaxation here. Now as you inhale, I want you to start kicking into the hands. So that first step is to kick the hands away. And then as you start to kick, the strength in the legs will lift the body up off the earth. You can take a few rounds of breath here. Kicking, 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 opening up through the shoulders. Exhale and release. So that is a lovely, lovely stretch and strengthening posture. Bringing the hands back underneath the shoulders, pressing the body up. And you can come to resting in child's pose. Just giving yourself a little bit of a respite here. And then eventually coming all the way up to Virasana, our hero's pose. So that is our little back bending sequence, and there's no, the Urdhva Dhanurasana or floor bow pose is probably the last exercise that you'd want to put into that series because it is probably the deepest opening of those back bending postures that we've just looked at. So starting with Cobra, and as I've said, you can build these into your practice. It's really lovely to do those as part of the warm-up after sun salutations. So you've warmed up the body, and just to create some more strength in the back, hit the deck, Bhujangasana, Shalabhasana, Dhanurasana as preparatory poses, and then moving to some of your balancing poses after that. And you might even, if you've worked through your sun salutations and you've done perhaps some balancing postures after you've done some standing work, it's nice to actually find some of those strengthening postures and then come into camel, which is a very large heart opening posture and back bending posture back. So it can be a preparatory poses for camel posture as well, Ustrasana. So that is our back bending sequence for today, and I shall see you on the next tutorial.